Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Channel X third party E3 2019 wrap up. I am your host, Tom Dog 247, and as always, I'm Tom Dog all day and Tom Dog all night. Woo, baby, alright, so. I forgot to shut all the sounds off. There we go. So yeah, this is it, part 2 of our third-party wrap-up. This is amazing. I cannot wait. Today, we are going to be covering Ubisoft and Square Enix. There we go. Spaced out for a second. I don't know. Before we get this episode started, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the new subscribers that are joining me during this week of E3. I'm having such a great time here, and thank you once again for showing your love and making this making this happen. So again, thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And if you're new here, do the same thing like the others have, like everybody else has done, and that's face hug that subscribe button. I'm gonna do this again at the end of the show, at the end of this episode. But again, thank you guys so much for the response. So yeah, I finally. It's like, I know we did. I'm doing these late and everything like that, but there would just be too. I'm breaking them all down because it's just too much stuff. Too much stuff to pack it all in one episode. It'll be way too much, and like, I don't have the time nor the strength to do so. So doing it this way is a lot of fun. So I checked out that's why today we're doing the Ubisoft and Square Enix E3 2019 briefings. So Ubisoft kicked off with an orchestra that's help promoting the Assassin's Creed Symphony. They're doing their worldwide tour this year, and pretty much playing all the music that has made Assassin's Creed over the years such an amazing soundtrack. So if it happens to come in your town, whether it's in the States here or in your part of the country, check it out. Their performance at their little performance that they had at E3 was very amazing, and they did a tremendous job, and I really congratulate them on this, and it's very well received. So check them out. So they kicked off the show. Also, so the first game that they showed off was Watch Dogs Legion. This is the third game in the series, and they showed off some gameplay as they do with all the other two Watch Dog games. They showed some gameplay and a trailer. The game looks amazing. It's taking place in London, England. It looks really beautiful. And what makes this different than the other two incarnations is that you can play as anybody. You recruit people and you get to play them. They have their own little story. You can also play as a 70-year-old granny. So that's actually pretty cool. So they all have the characters that you pick all have a backstory. So this game is like packed with a lot of storylines and everything like that to not keep you bored. And the graphics look amazing. They look really, really good. Up next, they showed off Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet. It's going to be premiering on Apple TV. So it was a little bit confusing of what it was going to be and everything like that, but it looks really good though. The show's going to be pretty good. Next, they showed off Rainbow Six, an expansion trailer to Rainbow Six Siege Phantom Sight. Looks very interesting. Looks really, really good. I can't wait for the update to come out. And all, I haven't really played any of the Rainbow Six games. Maybe like the older ones that like Rainbow Six Vegas was the one that comes to mind. It was actually very good. I like that one. Up next, they showed off an expansion to Brawlhalla. They're incorporating Adventure Time into this beat 'em up and everything. It looks really, really good. I'm gonna start downloading it today and everything. I haven't had a chance to play it, but game looks very interesting and I want to play it. Up next, they showed off a new Ghost Recon game entitled Breakpoint. Game looks like really, really good, and they had the voice actor come out and talk a little bit about it, and it's looking out to be a very good title. Up next, they showed they talked about Ghost Recon Delta Company, which is a social community network, and looks pretty interesting. You can check it out on the website and everything like that. It looks really, really interesting. Next, they showed off a mobile game called Elite Squad. Looks pretty interesting. Got a lot of mobile games coming out this year, so it's going to be pretty cool. Up next, they showed off. They did a little performance to promote Just Dance 2020. This marks the 10-year anniversary for the Just Dance collection, and it's looking to be if you're a fan of that, it's going to be if you're a fan of that, definitely want to pick that up. And it was weird too because when they showed what platforms they're going to have it on, they're going to of course have it on all platforms, and there was one that caught my eye, which was really weird why they're doing this, and I'm surprised that they're still even that Nintendo is still doing this. But there's also going to be a Just Dance 2020 on the Wii. I didn't think the Wii was still. I didn't think that I thought they stopped production with Wii stuff. It's weird that they showed the Wii on there, so that's really weird. Unless of course it's just a or if it's like the Wii or the Wii U, I don't know. But it is kind of weird that they have that up there. It really is bizarre. So I don't know. Up next, they showed an expansion to For Honor. To the game For Honor. It's titled Shadows of the Hitokiri. Hitokiri. It looks really good. So if you have For Honor, there's going to be an expansion for it. There's going to be an update coming out soon. It looks really, really good. Looks really good from the trailer that they showed. There's going to be another Rainbow Six game coming out entitled Quarantine. They showed off a trailer of what it'll look like. Looks very interesting. It's like has like a nice Resident Evil vibe to it. Like you're being infected and everything like that. So it looks really, really good. So who knows what's going to happen. Up next, they showed off a lot of the Division 2. They showed off an expansion trailer, and plus also this week only, it's free to play. the whole the whole kit and caboodle is free to play. You can download it, play. You can check out the new updates as well. And they've also announced a movie entitled The Division, and it's going to be on Netflix. And I looked on my notes and I noticed that I misspelled Netflix. But that's okay. It's like you didn't hear nothing from me. But yeah, they're going to make there's going to be a movie on Netflix. So it looks going to be, and Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be in the movie. So kudos to that. So it's going to look pretty good. Then Ubisoft brought up a subscription service called Uplay Plus. So it's Uplay is just going to add a plus sign to it, and it's a PC subscription service, and also on Stadia, Google Stadia. And you get to play a lot of you get to play everything from new releases from new releases as well as some classic titles and some current ones. Every hundreds of titles that they have, you can play them at your leisure for $15. So not bad, but there's other. But to be honest with you, there's other platforms to do so on there. Will save you money. If subscription services aren't your, if too many subscription services aren't your bread and butter. Up next, they showed off Roller Champions, which looks very interesting because I didn't think that. I'm actually surprised that there's actually a rollerball type of game coming out, which looks really, really good, and I'm actually looking forward to this because because it does remind me of the movie Rollerball, which those movies were my favorites, the original and the remake. So it is actually really really cool that that this is going to be a thing. So I'm looking forward to it. Then finally they showed off Gods and Monsters, which is currently in development, and from what they showed off of the trailer, it looks pretty good. So what do I think about Ubisoft's E3 briefing? Very good. It was nice and decent. They made their discussions and everything like that. They threw off a lot of games on here, and a couple of things that and then a couple of things that were game related but not necessarily games. And when they showed off when they showed off the orchestra at the beginning, when it said Assassin's Creed Symphony, I actually, I'm not gonna lie, I honestly thought that this was another Assassin's Creed game. So it's nice that Assassin's Creed has been taking a break with coming out with a game year after year and everything. It's been too repetitive and everything like that, but it's nice that they can take a break for a while and then hopefully come back to come back into this and everything. So it is very interesting to see the concert. So a lot of good stuff. What sold me here is Roller Champions. As I said, the game looks very interesting. But the Division 2, the expansion, looks very interesting. As far as new games go, Watch Dogs Legion stole the show, and it was actually very good. Looks very good, and I can't wait for this game to come out. I really can't. As I said, they showed off some gameplay, and the trailer, it looks wonderful. It looks absolutely wonderful. So that's the game that I'm going to be more looking into, as far as Ubisoft's conference goes. So very, very good. Good job, Ubisoft, for a job well done. So, okay, up next is the Square Enix E3 briefing. And boy, did they cram in a lot of Final Fantasy content in their briefing. But that's okay. I'm not judging it. I'm not criticizing it or anything like that, because Final Fantasy is a very popular game in for Square Enix, and rightfully so, because they showed off. They showed more of Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and the hype for this is still the same. Looks amazing. Looks flawless, and everybody's excited, and it's coming out next year. And they gave out a release date. It's coming out in 2020, spring of 2020. It looks amazing, really does. Up next, they showed out Life is Strange 2. It's out now. They got some cool stuff in there. The game looks pretty good. I still have the first one, but I haven't downloaded any of the updates yet, and everything. But the game itself is actually very good. So it's nice to see Life is Strange. They had a good feedback. Up next, they showed off Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. It's a mobile trailer, and it's also going to be coming to the PS4 and Switch. So it's a remaster. Octopath Traveler was the next game, and the game is out now. So definitely worth checking out. They showed off The Last Remnant. Looks very, I've talked about it briefly in one of my other, I forgot which one it was. I think it was the Nintendo briefing, but again, it looks good. So no more discussion about that, because we already know, as well as Dragon Quest Builders 2 and Dragon Quest 11. We've already talked about those, so no need to talk about those again. They look good. Up next is Circuit Superstars, which kind of reminds me of of these top-down race games like Super Sprint and off-road race, Super Off-Road, and even RC Pro-Am also comes to mind as well too. So it's very cool to see this type of racing genre back. I actually like it, and the graphics on this does kind of remind me of it. And even though it's not, don't have retro graphics, it doesn't matter. It still looks very good. Up next, they showed off Battalion 1944, which is out now. You can check it out. And a little bit of a break from video game trailers. You can listen to the soundtracks on a lot of the music platforms like Apple Music and also on Spotify. Square Enix Music. You can check it out, and I'm actually gonna check that out too. It's like a little radio station for you, and it's definitely worth checking out. And it's also on PlayStation Music as well too. They actually showed up next. They showed off the Kingdom Hearts. Showed off Kingdom Hearts 3 with new DLC coming out this fall, and then even more DLC coming out next year. It looks the DLC looks really good. Hasn't maybe some new stories are going to be coming in, some new side characters as well. Who knows? But it does look amazing. Up next, they showed off Final Fantasy 14 Online, Shadowbringers. Um, anything with Final Fantasy, everybody goes nuts for, and and this is no exception because it's Final Fantasy. You can't go wrong with Final Fantasy. You just can't. Um, Next, they showed off Dying Light 2. Looks amazing. From the first Dying Light, nice little step up from that. Excuse me. Up next, they showed off a couple of Saga games, Romancing Saga 3 and Saga Scarlet Grace. These are, from what it looks like, they look like to be digitally downloaded only indie titles, solo titles, but it looks really, really good. And has a nice little retro vibe to it for Romancing Saga 3. It looks really, really good. And another mobile game from Square Enix, War of the Visions, for the Final Fantasy game, for the Final Fantasy mobile games. And it looks really good. Up next, they showed off Outriders. Very interesting. It's a very interesting game and everything. It looks really, really good. Kind of like it. Up next, they showed off Oninaki. That's I apologize if I didn't say the name right or anything. If I mispronounced it, I do apologize for that. But the game, they showed off the trailer for that game, and it looks pretty interesting. It looks really, really good. I like very interesting. They showed off they showed off the Avengers. They showed off the trailers. Who's going to be providing the voices for it? They got Troy Baker and Nolan North in the game, so lending their voices out, and they're well known. So, and they they had the demo on the floor and everything like that. But this game looks really, really amazing, and I can't wait for this game to come out. And it's coming out from what I understand, for the PlayStation and the Xbox One. So, but they're working with PlayStation. You get the pre-order. Got some huge specials going on. Plus, also pre-order. You also get to have Hank Pym into the game as well too. So, not bad at all. And but that wasn't that was the last game that they showed off. This next game that I'm about to mention should have been the last thing that they showed. That's my only nitpick throughout this. Is they're remastering Final Fantasy VIII, and it's currently in development, and the response with that was huge. Why didn't they put that at the last thing? Tease it. Like, do it for the fans. They with a lot of these games, they you hype something for something that everybody's been a fan of. Ubisoft did it one year with the latest Assassin's Creed game. Nintendo just recently did that with the announcement of Banjo and Kazooie coming into Smash. Gotta have, even though they didn't have a crowd, I think the fan reaction speaks for itself that everybody was happy for that. But that's my only complaint, is that the fact that they did not put Final Fantasy 8, the trailer for Final Fantasy 8, the remaster, on last. They should have done that last. I'm just saying, give somebody a lot of hype for that, and it would have stolen the show. It probably would have stolen the show. But overall, Square Enix always has a great turnout and everything like that. Everybody's, as I said before, whenever they have Final Fantasy, in the title, if there's Final Fantasy in the title, let's do it. Let's do it. But yeah, it was really cool to see that and everything. So, Final Fantasy is what sells on everything like that, and so can't really complain about that. So good job to Square Enix with their E3 briefing. So that's pretty much all the time I have for today. Be sure to tune in next time. I'm gonna try to grab as much video, much trailer information that I can on PlayStation. Keep in mind, I'm not going to be talking about the games that I've already mentioned in any of the past briefings. Only simple reasons because the fact that I'm kind of looking at the exclusives, because a lot of the games that I've talked about already are going to be on there and everything. So definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Follow me on Twitter at TomDog247. If you missed any of tonight's E3 special, you can check it out as soon as I turn off the camera. Leave a like if you leave a thumbs up if you like it. Comment down below. What are you most excited for on the Ubisoft and the Square Enix briefing? I think I already know what it's going to be for Square Enix. I mean, that's kind of like a dumb question, but you know what? I'm still asking it anyways, because who knows? Maybe somebody's not interested in Final Fantasy, and maybe they're more excited with the Avengers or Dying Light 2. So, or even Dragon Quest Builders 2. Who knows, right? So, but yeah, I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say on that in regards to that. Ringy dingy that bell so you can stay notified on what I'm going to be doing next. And once again, if you're new here and you like what you see, show some love. Show some love to Tom Dog, and do what hundreds of other people have done on this channel, and that's face hug that subscribe button. We will see you next time with the PlayStation briefing. Till then, this is Tom Dog saying take care, so long, peace.